Floor Plans, Video 1. Once you have completed your Revit model for your 34 by 34 guest house, we will now take our 3D model, which we have created in Revit, and we will create 2D blueprints, which will be used for construction. Both a 3D model and a 2D set of blueprints are viable parts of the design process and are both used heavily by industry, so it is important that we learn how to produce both a 3D model and 2D blueprints. All right, to export our Revit model so that we can create a 2D CAD file, we will first locate our first floor plan inside Revit. And we will click on the File tab and Export. And we will go to CAD Formats. And we will choose DWG. All right, we will export the floor plan. We'll click Next, and we will locate our OneDrive folder, and we will save this floor plan, this drawing file, into our OneDrive folder. So you will specify the location. You'll also give this file a name. And we will choose a DWG file and choose 2018 since that's the newest file type that we can choose. All right, we'll click OK. And Revit will export the file. And now since we have exported the file, we will close Revit entirely. And we will locate our 2023 AutoCAD. Once we have loaded AutoCAD, we will locate the file which we exported from Revit. We will click Open, and we will search for a drawing file, and locate our OneDrive folder and find the file. And click Open. And you'll see that we have a exported 2D view of our floor plan. All right, before we manipulate anything on our floor plan, we need to download a template file which we will use for all of the drawings in this series. To do this, we will go to Canvas and click on the Files button on the left-hand side, and we will search for a .dwt file, and you'll see that we have an SHS architectural template. So we will click on the template file, we will select Download, and we can double click this download and open it inside AutoCAD. Okay, so a quick tour of AutoCAD. We have a paper space and we have a model space. So our model space is where we will draw all of our lines, shapes, where we do all of our dimensioning, all of our hatching, all the things that we're going to learn in this unit. You draw everything in model space, and then once we have completed the drawing, when we're ready to print our drawing, we will put the specific plans onto our paper space. So that's the difference between the two views. We have a model space and a paper space. Alright, first thing we're going to do inside our model space is we're going to change the background color so that we can see all of the pre-loaded elements on our model space. So we're going to right click inside our model space screen and we'll choose options. And we're going to go to the display tab. We'll click on colors and we'll change the 2D model space color to standard black. Once we've changed the color, we'll click apply and close. And you'll see that these drawing boxes have a little bit more pop to them so we can see them a little bit better. Okay, so for the house we're drawing now, our 34 by 34 guest house, we're going to use the intro house section here. Okay, I've given you these boxes, and this is where we will complete all of our drawings, and these boxes are shaped to fit the scale 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. And we'll go over what that means in a little bit. But for now, all we need to know is that we need to delete everything that's below in the architecture 1 and 2 house design boxes. All right, so we're going to highlight all of these elements here, and we will click delete and clear those out. That way we have some room to work. Okay, so before we move further, we're going to go ahead and save this drawing 1. We're going to save this file onto our OneDrive. We're going to click on the CAD button at the top left corner. We'll go to Save As. And again, we're going to go to our OneDrive in a folder that you choose. We'll say 2018 is fine, even though this is the 2013 software version. The files save in 2018 and newer. So 2018 is fine. We'll go ahead and save this as the 34 by 34 guest house construction documents. Okay, now everyone will have this file as the name of their file, and this is the only file you use for each of the CAD drawings that we will do for this design. We do not need multiple files. For the drawing, we will have one file that houses every single drawing for the house design. So we'll click Save, and now we have the 34 by 34 guest house construction document file saved. Okay, before we transfer over our file that we saved earlier, we are going to get a quick tour. AutoCAD works very similar to Revit. They're created by the same company, the same software company. So most things will be intuitive because we have used Revit before. So we really don't need much of a lesson to learn AutoCAD. It should be very intuitive. We have the Home tab. We have the tabs at the top, just like we had before. We have a line tool, same as when we drew the pink lines for a floor boundary or a roof boundary. We have circle command. We can draw arcs. We can draw rectangles. In our modify section, we have the same tools. We have a move command, a copy command. We have a trim command. We have a fillet command. Rotate mirror, very similar to Revit. For annotation, same thing. We have dimensions that we can use. And we have a layer system. Now this is new, so pay attention to this. In our template file, I created a set of layers which you can use to make sure that the thickness of your lines on the floor plan are set up in a way that is pleasing to the eye, and you can see depth, and there's a specific set of line thicknesses that we use based on what type of element we have in the home. So for example, I have a wall stud layer, we have wall sheathing layers, we have masonry layers, that's for stone if you have that on your house. Most of us do not at this point. We have a room name layer, we have hidden lines, we have windows, dimension lines. So every specific type of line in our AutoCAD file, our drawing, has a specific layer to it. So we will use the layers system, and basically we're taking the lines from our exported floor plan, and we're going to simply change the layers of most of the lines we see here and clean up our drawing. We'll add dimensions and text to the drawing, and we'll have it look exactly like the blueprint that we have in the classroom. So this, we're not going to draw every single line individually. Revit gives us everything we need. We just need to change layers and add the text. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our Revit file, export. We're going to highlight everything in the model space, and we're going to change the layer to layer 0. All right, this gives us a base for the remaining lines in our house. So we're going to change everything to 0 so that we're not transposing and copying in all of these extra layers into our template file. So we're going to keep our file light. We'll change everything to 0. Now some lines changed, some lines didn't. That's not a problem. These are joined, grouped together sets of elements, but the layer is still 0. So we're going to highlight everything again. We've changed it to layer 0. We're going to go Control C, and we're going to use the copy command, Control C. That makes us copy everything that we've selected to the clipboard. We're going to go to the 34 by 34 guest house file, our template file, and we're going to locate the first floor plan box, and we're going to use Control V for paste. All right, we're going to locate roughly the center of the box, down towards the bottom near the floor plan label, and we'll select and move that down. Okay, now everything has been transposed in on the 0 layer, and now in our next video we will edit our floor plan to match the blueprint that we have in the classroom.